Hey, what's up? Welcome to Offshore Audio. I'm Andrew, and this is the channel where I'm bringing you tips and tricks to mix better live events. So speaking of mixing live events, how does one become a sound engineer? How do you become a sound engineer? In my opinion, being a sound engineer is like the best job in the world, right? It's exciting, it's challenging, it's problem solving, no day is the same, it's really flexible, get to be creative. All in all, it's a really fulfilling career choice, a really fulfilling job to do. But how do you become a live sound engineer? So I thought I would break down in this video the 4 stages to becoming a live sound engineer that you can follow. Now, I will say that this is what worked for me, and this is based on my experience. But if you follow these 4 stages, then you have a pretty good shot of becoming a live sound engineer yourself. If you can mix a band, you can mix a conference. So even if you for some reason want to mix conferences, this will also help you out. We're going to take a look at educating yourself, getting experience, getting your foot in the door, and then continuing to develop yourself. Before we even dive in, I've got something for you, and that is my 3-step guide to perfect EQ. So if you're thinking about becoming a live sound engineer, or you're at the start of your live sound engineering journey, or if you're just curious about how I do things, then this is just a really simple PDF that you can download that's going to help you out in showing you a quick framework to get started making better EQ decisions now. And you can get that by clicking the link down below or heading to offshoreaudio.no/EQ. So again, just head there to grab my free 3-step guide to perfect EQ. Without further ado, let's dive in. So really, before you get going with any aspirations, you need to educate yourself about the profession. I don't mean strictly that you need to go and study and get an official qualification, though that is what I did, and certainly if you're interested in that, I've got a video link to for you to check that out. But I mean, you really need to be familiar with the general terminology and ideas behind being a sound engineer. You should have a fundamental understanding of how sound works. And you really need to know how to coil a cable, for one, because you will not last long if you coil terrible cables. How to adjust a mic stand is another one. If you spend ages getting microphone stands in place and maneuvering them, then you're going to be no use to anyone, and being of use to people will get you in the door, which we'll talk about later. You need to know how to connect a microphone cable as well. I have had people working with me that don't seem to know how to do that, so gain an understanding of that sort of stuff. And as well, I would recommend getting to grips with DI boxes. Again, I'll link a video down below about DI boxes. Now, a great place to start with this is simply learning to play an instrument yourself if you don't play already. Getting used to how things sound, hearing noise and thinking, how do I feel about this sound that I'm hearing? How do I feel about the tone of my guitar? How does the piano sound if I play it with the case open or not, or with it totally open, with it totally closed, with the sustain pedal on, with it off? Thinking about these things critically is sort of the start of your journey. Another option, of course, is to take a course on live sound, be that at an institution such as university or through a website or something. I offer courses myself, offshoreaudio.no. I won't continue plugging that, but generally take steps to increase your awareness and your understanding of how this environment works. Another invaluable skill that you need to have is problem solving and sort of logical thinking. And you can get started on that by doing stuff like taking Skillshare courses or courses on Brilliant, these platforms online where you can develop your logical thinking skills. Another great one that's really transferable is programming. If you've studied programming in school or university or anything, then you likely have quite a good problem solving mindset that you can apply to working in live sound. And my last thought on this sort of stage is start listening objectively. Pay attention to what you hear and ask yourself, does it sound good? Why? What do I like about it? And try and give yourself words and vocabulary to understand that. And pick out things that you like and things that you don't like, write them down, and just reflect on things that you enjoy. Go to shows. Ask yourself, how does this sound? Do I like it? If you don't, why not? If you do, why do you like it? Start by educating yourself on sound in general. I'll leave some links down below to valuable stuff that I think you might enjoy. Books, courses, that sort of thing. The second stage that you should aim for is to get experience. Now, there are lots of ways to do this, and I'm going to recommend how I went about it, and that is get to know bands in your local area. Make friends with them. Have friends that play in bands. Once you're friends with people that play in bands, ask if you can tag along to their shows to help out. Help load in their amplifiers, their guitars, their drum kit, or whatever they're using. just get there at the start, come for their sound check. And then once you've loaded stuff in for them, ask the engineer if you can hang out and watch what they're doing, and just watch. Don't pester them, don't ask too many questions, just begin to get an understanding of what's happening. Ask your friends in bands if you can join them in the rehearsal space and mix their rehearsals. They quite likely have a little mixer that they use to route everything in the rehearsal space, so you can take a stab at balancing levels and getting to know how that mixer works. If all that goes really well and the band enjoy hanging out with you, you have a good rapport with them, why not ask them if you can mix their set at their next gig? Bands love this, especially small bands. They love the idea of having their own sound engineer. It makes them feel big and important and gives them a sense of security. They know that the person behind the mixer cares about them and cares about their sound. And a lot of times you might care more about their sound than the engineer mixing in the club. So that's a great way to start getting experience. Stage 3 is getting your foot in the door, and by this I mean getting to know people actually in the industry, getting to know the people who ask people to work. Start getting in touch with venues that you know and asking if you can meet their head technician or their head sound engineer or whatever to chat to them about shadowing opportunities. Now, if you've been hanging around with bands and helping load in and out of shows, you've probably got an idea of where concerts and gigs happen in your area. You might have even started to sort of get to know the house engineer or the bar staff or people there a little bit, and that helps a lot in kicking off your live sound career. So there's a great place to start. If you're in helping your band load in, or you happen to be mixing the band, you've asked their permission to mix their set and they've said yes, then why not ask the house engineer at the end of the gig if you can help tidy up, help coil up the cables and put away the microphones and microphone stands, and then ask if they wouldn't mind you shadowing them on an actual gig that they're doing. So you come in from the start, and then you can take the opportunity to ask a couple of questions. And this is the sort of result you're going for if you're coming in cold as well. You want to email the venue and ask if you can meet their head sound tech. If you don't hear back from them, that's fine. Chill out for a week, email again. If you don't hear back again, go in sometime and just say, hey, I sent a couple of emails, but I never heard back. I thought you might be busy, so I would just drop by. And then ask them if they got your email and ask them how they would feel about you shadowing sometime. Do not do this when it's really busy. Don't do this just before a big show starts or in between bands. Wait until the end, or come in on a very quiet day, Tuesday, for example. When you're shadowing someone, watch and learn. Ask questions, but don't ask too many questions. Remember that the engineer is still doing their job. They still have the band, the artist on the stage, who is their main concern. Choose your time and your questions wisely. And the most important thing of all, when you're finished shadowing an engineer at the end of the show, if it went well, ask them if you can come back again. And don't take yeah, sure or anything as an answer. Set a date. Make sure that you know when you're coming back to get more experience. If you keep going down this road, eventually you're going to know the venue and know where everything's stored and where all the microphones are and how everything works. And that makes you immediately useful. Then one day something minor will be happening. There'll be like a pub quiz or something that needs someone to set up microphones, but main engineer doesn't want to do it. It's no fun. So they phone you and they say, hey, do you think you can babysit a couple of microphones for me tonight? And thus, you are in. Now, I can't stress this stage enough. There are loads of people who have come up to me during shows, after shows and things, and asked me some questions about the mixer, about how I do things, and then asked if they could shadow me. I pretty much always say yes. And do you know how many of them have come back and actually shadowed me? About 2 in 6-7 years. People don't come back, they don't follow up, they don't commit to it. So if you want to be a live sound engineer, commit to it, do it. Ask if you can shadow people. Get the experience and go there and follow through on that, and then persist, come back, get more experience, and keep doing it even though you're not getting paid, until one day you're useful and you do get paid. Stage 4 now is continue learning, because you're never done learning. By the time you get a paid show and you can mix a couple of microphones on a stage, you still know relatively little. You just happen to know enough to get going, and that's fantastic. That's the best way to learn. But you need to continue learning. Read books, read blogs, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos. If you're interested in studying in a university or some sort of school, do that on the side as well. Ask questions to everyone you can. If you're just in the venue shadowing the engineer, ask questions. Don't be troublesome, but make sure to ask questions. Write down the answers. If you happen to have other sound engineers who are around you, ask them questions as well. And a really big one, do not neglect your soft skills. This is a people-facing role. We are working with people. The desk is simply how we make the show happen, but the real magic is in how we interact with the people around us, the artists, the talent on stage, bar managers, door staff, promoters, everyone. We need to get on with them. So do not neglect your people skills. I'll leave a link to a video up here that's soft skills for live sound engineers. You can check that one out. So I'll just sum this up real quick. 4 stages of becoming a live sound engineer. Educate yourself. You need to know something about how to do the job before you can even start thinking about doing the job. Read, listen, watch, take courses, study, that sort of thing. Get experience. You need to have hands-on experience. You need to know how it feels to coil a cable, how to adjust a microphone stand, how to get a microphone on a microphone stand without destroying the microphone. Get your foot in the door. Make sure that you're around people enough that they start to know who you are. Ask if you can be around them more. Don't ask for money. Develop skills, make yourself useful to them. And once you are at a certain degree of usefulness, you'll get paid for it. Keep developing your skills. Keep studying, keep reading, watching, learning, and do not neglect those soft skills. When you're getting started, one thing you might consider studying is EQ. I'll leave a link down below to my 3-step guide to perfect EQ, and that'll get you started and get you covered at least on the EQ section of your learning. You can get to grips with that before you start getting your hands on the mixer itself. Though of course I always advocate for getting your hands on to learn more. So leave me a comment below. What are you going to do to take your first step to becoming a proper live sound engineer? Or if you're already getting a bit of live sound work, tell me, what did you do? How did you get your foot in the door? I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. For now, thanks so much for watching. If this is valuable, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. That tells YouTube I'm not a dick. For now, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.